Hey guys, what's going on? Two Cruz here, checking in Italy with BMC for their brand new 2020 model year test ride event. And I've got in front of me the brand new BMC Roadmachine. So this is actually a completely new design from the previous Roadmachine model, and it's been upgraded in a bunch of different ways. And we're gonna be going over some of those differences today in a first look over the new Roadmachine. And we're also gonna be doing a short little test ride. So I'm pretty excited. I haven't ridden this bike before, and I've been really wanting to test it out, but we haven't had any stock in Japan where I work. So I'm really excited to test this guy out. Anyway, let's begin and take a look at the bike and some of the specs it's got. So the bike we'll be looking at and test riding today is the BMC Roadmachine 011. This is the top bike in this series, and it's decked out with the brand new SRAM Red electronic group set here. So one of the unique differences to this group set compared to the Shimano group set is we've got batteries attached to each derailleur. So we've got one here and we've got one here. This is a really beefy, beautiful rear derailleur we've got going on here. So keep in mind, these are test bikes and people have been test riding these all day today, all day yesterday. Another interesting thing here, this is one of my first time seeing this in person. This is the new chain that they've got in the new SRAM group sets. So it's got a smooth profile on the outer edge. That's really interesting to see. Continuing on the back end here, this bike comes stock with some beautiful deep dish carbon wheels, as well as Vittoria Corsa tubeless ready tires. One of the big differences on this bike compared to the previous Roadmachine is the increased tire clearance. So this bike can actually fit up to a width of 33 tires. They've actually got a demo section here that shows you can put cyclocross tires on here. That's a question that I've had in my mind, and that's a question I know you guys are also interested in as well. And that is, can you use this bike on a cyclocross race? And the answer I've got from my discussions with the BMC team is that yes, it'll work for mainly a dry cross race. There's enough clearance for 33 tires, but if there's any mud or anything, you're not gonna have much clearance, any space for that. So I think it's gonna slow you down, but on dry conditions, this bike is ready to go. This bike is ready to rip on the roads, on a cyclocross course, on the dirt, on the gravel. So that's one of the things I love about this bike. I actually ordered a Roadmachine for myself. I'm getting a different spec'd one, so I'm pretty excited to test it out today to see the geometry. I'm actually test riding a size 54 today. I normally ride a size 56, but I wanted to test out and see how this feels on a smaller size. Another unique thing we've got here on the BMC bike is their D-shaped seat post. And this is controlled down in the bottom. There's a little screw down here, so this is how you adjust the saddle height. The stock saddle on here is a Physique Aliante. Some other unique things about this bike is you'll notice that we've got some mounts here, so you can attach some top tube bags as well. One other change to the bike this year is you'll see the UCI sticker here. So this bike, the entire range is UCI legal, which is great for things like cyclocross races, which require a UCI approved bike. So this is the new paint job style that they've got going on for the BMC logo on the down tube. Pretty nifty design there. Another change that's been implemented in this bike is increased stack on the larger size bikes. So on the larger size bikes like 56 and up, you'll notice that is an increased height in the front stack section. Let's take a look at the rest of the front profile here. So this being the top end model, they've got this decked out with the BMC custom stem. This is their ICS aero integration stem. So you'll notice there isn't a single cable out here. This is a completely clean setup. All the cables are routed into the stem itself and through the frame. So complete cable integration. We've got our SRAM Red shifters here. And another thing that's been changed on this model for this year is you'll notice this front fork is super slim, super sleek design. And this range is pretty vast this year. There's a couple 01 models as well as some 02 models. The main difference being the 02 doesn't have the ICS stem here. It has the normal stem, and that loses the cable integration aspect. So that's the main difference between the two. It's the same frame for the 01 and for the 02 models. Anyway, I'm really excited to test this guy out, so let's go get out on the road. Time to start the test ride. Let's go. The event where they're hosting this, by the way, is just absolutely gorgeous, as you can see. They've got some really nice music going on in the background as well. And some gorgeous riding around here. Mountain bike, road, gravel, everything. Oh, wow. So my initial impressions, I've only been on this bike for a few seconds so far, and this thing is snappy. This thing is responsive. It's kind of labeled as their endurance bike, but when I looked at the specs, I'm like, this isn't really an endurance bike. Like, this is a proper looking race bike. It just has more clearance than a regular road bike, and It just has more clearance than a regular road bike, a bit more compliance, but man, when I get out of the saddle to jump, this thing is snappy. So again, I'm testing a smaller size than I normally ride. I normally ride a 56. It's kind of funny, when I first started cycling, I started on a 58. Then I dropped down to a 56. And now I'm thinking about dropping down to a 54. And so far, it feels pretty comfortable. One of the things I don't like about the bigger bikes is I'm just always really upright compared to people when I'm riding next to them. My handlebars are always way higher. Even if I slam the stem, I'm just always way higher than everyone else. One thing I noticed though is these bars are pretty narrow, so I wonder if they come with some bigger bars on the 56. That's one thing I think I'd want to change, especially if I'm using this for cyclocross. I like to have big bars, but that's all right for road riding, perfectly comfortable. Here we go, left turn. Another cool thing I forgot to mention is this integrated mount for your cycling computer, which is a plate that attaches right in front of the stems. So complete integration there. You don't need to clip any extra mounts off to the side. Really love this thing, really handy. And you can attach your GoPro to it. You can attach your Garmin, you can attach both. Let's climb some mountains. So surprisingly, the roads here in Italy are pretty rough. You can see I'm just bumping all over the place. We got speed bumps, cracks all over the road. So I definitely, if I was living in a place like this where the roads were a bit more rough, I'd pick a bike like this in a heartbeat. Disc brakes, a bit smoother of a ride, more tire clearance so you can put some thicker guys on here. Should also mention, these come stock with 28 width tires. So most road bikes nowadays come stock with 25. This guy comes with 28. This is also my first time riding 28 width tires. I've ridden 32 for cyclocross, 25s for road, but never in between. And as I'm riding right now, I don't really notice anything too bad. The main thing I noticed is a lot of those bumps were a lot smoother than they would be if I was on my normal road bike. So definitely the benefit there, but as I'm climbing right now, I don't really feel any slower. It just feels like a normal climb. And again, just every time I get out of the saddle, I just feel really good power transfer. That's another thing that's changed this year in the new Roadmachine is I believe they've increased their power transfer, so there's less energy wasted in each pedal stroke. Let's take a look at the top tube from an aerial angle. So you can see this is pretty common design in BMC bikes. They've got a thicker front up front, and then it gets more narrow as you go back to the seat post. Oh, looks like they're doing some cleaning. Gorgeous little switchback section here. This is a gorgeous little switchback climb that we've got right by the venue. Climbed it the other day on an e-bike. Definitely having to put in a bit more work here, but this thing is good. This thing is light. I believe the weight for the frame itself is only about 900 grams, which is pretty good for a supposed endurance bike slash gravel bike slash all-rounder. I think the correct marketing that they're using for this is the one bike for all, the one bike to rule them all. And for someone like me who does a bit of everything, road riding, gravel riding, cyclocross, random rough mountain roads, random touring, a bit of racing, this bike is like a dream come true. It does everything I need it to do, and I can't wait to get mine. But as I've been test riding these events, testing out all these electronic shifters, man, they're super smooth, they're super responsive. Hopefully one day I can get myself an electric shifting bike. As I've started getting used to these handlebars, these are all right for road, perfectly comfortable. But again, yeah, if I'm using this as my cyclocross racer bike, which I'm planning to do, I definitely want to get some wider sweeper bars on here. And as far as the sizing goes, I'm feeling really comfortable on this 54, like no issues. One thing I noticed for sure is when I sprint, I have a bit less reach to work with, so definitely more comfortable sprinting on a larger bike, but I think that's something we can easily fix by just putting on a longer stem. So we'll see. I might have to switch down to a 54, save a couple grams. Just look at this, crazy beautiful up here. But guys, I'm moving to Italy. Whew, almost to the top, but Check out that view, that is gorgeous. And this bike's just flying. I have no idea why it's kind of labeled as an endurance bike, but even with the larger tires, I didn't notice any problems going up this climb. I felt like I was just flying up this climb. This thing is way faster than my normal road bike, which is a rim brake. And yeah, check this out though. There's like a castle over there. I wonder if someone lives there. Anyway, we gotta start heading down. There's more bikes to ride. Super excited for my road machine to come. Here comes the fun part, descent time. So this thing's feeling really stable in the descent so far. That's one of the advantages of going with a larger frame. You get more stability going downhill, but even on the smaller frame, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. So normally you get more stability on the larger frame going downhill. That's one of the things I wanted to test today, is descending on the smaller size. Okay, do I still have some decent stability? So far, so good. So, guy's got the same bike as me. All right, let's test this out a little bit faster. Get in the drops. All right guys, final impressions. I feel really reassured that I made the right choice in choosing this bike for my new bike from BMC this year. And I think after testing out this 54, I am gonna size down, go down to the 54, be a bit more pro, get a little bit more low. If you have any questions about this bike, leave them down below and I'll try and get to them. If you're interested in seeing some more videos of first looks and test rides of the new BMC models, I'll link the playlist above and you can check that out. Right now, a lot of the bikes are still under embargo, so I'll upload them once they're publicly available. Hope you guys found this useful, and as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Tubo Cruise.